Well, what about Shepard? Earthborn, but no record of his family.
Doesn't have one. He was raised on the streets, learned to look out for himself.
He saw his whole unit die on a cruise. He could have some serious emotional scars.
Every soldier has scars. Shepard's a survivor.
Is that the kind of person we want protecting the galaxy?
That's the only kind of person who can protect the galaxy.
I'll make the call.
In Mass Effect, you play as Commander Shepard, leading a diverse crew to face the threat of the Reapers, which are sentient machines that wipe out advanced life every 50,000 years. Your choices have political consequences and shape the galaxy's future. The battles are exhilarating, and the final chapter presents impossible choices. Playing Mass Effect is an odyssey of heroism, where every choice matters. The odyssey and choices are a couple of things that have me excited for Exodus. The introduction of companions throughout the story, the possibility of how the villains can be introduced, and the expansive journey ahead exploring the galaxy along with the Remnant worlds on a scale are overly exciting. I can't wait to get my hands on Remnant technology, honestly. As we lead the fight for humanity's salvation, we know that at the core of it all, our half-brother Gideon is likely to be a major villain, or at least a thorn in our side, since in the Rise of the Aslan Dynasty log on the website states, in 2476, Light and Reckoning, Orion celebrates the birth of his perfect heir, June Aslan, which is who we play, genetically created with both celestial and human DNA. Shortly after, Orion embarks on his final exodus, never to return. Gideon Aslan, June's half-brother, seizes control of the dynasty and declares himself ruler over Lighten, forcing June, still a mere child at the time, to go into hiding. As we play as June in his young adult years, we are told that our destiny is to lead the fight for humanity's salvation, traveling on interstellar missions at the edge of light speed. Days for us are decades for friends and loved ones back home. Entire lifetimes may pass in our absence. We will be forced to make sacrifices, putting everyone we love at risk. Your choices will have far-reaching consequences. Many will be impacted based on the decades that pass in our absence. We may find that we have harmed or helped our loved ones, but we cannot predict the outcomes we create in the abyss of time. The fate of those we love most and our entire civilization hangs in the balance. How much are we willing to sacrifice? So I've been reading the book, The Archimedes Engine, and real quick I want to talk about it. Before I get started, I'm going to give a slight spoiler warning. Just so you know, spoiler warning is going to pop up and it will be bright. So I'll give you a flashbang warning in 3, 2, 1. There are multiple characters that are introduced, but the main character of the book, his name is Finn Jalgori Tobu. In the book, he meets a couple of characters after his supposed ticket off-world crashes and burns in front of his face. He meets Josiah and Ellie, which are two pivotal characters to the story as it continues to go forward. Josiah is the creator and the owner of the ship, the Diligent, which is an Ark ship that was one of the last to arrive to the Centauri cluster. On this journey, Finn attempts to essentially acquire the Diligent and turn it into a traveler ship so that he can live amongst the stars. Although it doesn't seem like a big ask, somehow going on an adventure, it seems like trouble always follows and finds Finn. And on this journey, there are a lot of different things that happen. He gets shot at, he gets his foot almost bit off, And he also stumbles into remnant technology. He can say officially is a traveler after his first little adventure when he goes on a ship, and whenever he returns, it's 8 years later. Although it doesn't feel like we have a lot of information for the game, the detail in some of the videos, logs on the website, along with the Archimedes Engine book, give us so much information. I feel like the book is a gold mine for what is in the lore of Exodus. We stand at the precipice of a technological marvel within the dominion of the Centauri cluster. Sometimes it's hard to believe the technology that was developed by the Elohim brought us this far. However, the current empire has not improved within 500 years since in the last growth, based on chapters somewhere between 6 and 7 out of the book. So among the species that that they specifically introduce us to in the book are the Celestials, which they're evolved humanoid species with neural induction. We have the Uranics, human celestial hybrids, which is what we are when we play as June Aslan. We have the droids, which are the war machines and remnants of a bygone age. We have the Elohim, the most powerful celestials that use hyper advanced technology. We also have the Moaksha, which are a changeling species that were genetically engineered from celestials. They were designed to remember things that could store almost infinite information. Also, a very unfortunate thing is because they have such a grand memory, their brain is used to extract a fluid which is innately turned into a drug called recall, which that will enable you to remember a specific part of your past. And as long as you can focus in on it, it'll bring that memory in front of you as if you were reliving that very moment. You also have the Gath, which are 3 meters tall with skin of pale rust and kind of leathery. They're also a changeling species. We have the Silicates, altered remnants, technological eggs that consume the flesh to provide an exoskeleton. They're like a bioparasite, or kind of like a symbiote. You can think of it like venom, for instance. You have Flexols. They're designed to be miners. They have a liquid muscle system that allows them to pump it around their body to reshape themselves. There are creatures called Akturu. I forgot to write down the specific description of them, but that's another species that'll be involved in the game. Yeah, that should be involved in the game or the lore of the game, the lore of Exodus. You have the Rat Tarajan Celestials. They're space-dwelling celestials that live in spheres, codenamed Lobs. Load of balls, given the name by Gavoy in the book. You have Ghosts, which are remnant weapons, remnant era weapons. You have the Cashball Celestials. Features tails and a coat, kind of like kitten fellows, I believe is what was said specifically. You also have the Awakened, which are evolved animals or animals with enhanced intelligence, as you can see here. And there's also one that's talked about in the book called, it's a big cat, called the Devolved Bloodling. The way it's kind of described, it makes me think of like a saber-toothed tiger, like an evolved version of a saber-toothed tiger. But I guess we'll wait and see. We can only wait and see what it actually looks like whenever the game comes out, if they introduce those species. This game in itself has so much potential, especially the fact that it's running on Unreal Engine 5. And just a couple weeks ago, we got the Unreal Engine 5.5 demo, and the lighting and shading in that video alone were just amazing. I know not everybody is running like top of the line system specs or anything like that when it comes to PC, and the Xbox and the PlayStation. Generally, they have like upscaling that assists with giving them close to better scaling, or close to better performance. I mean, whenever it comes to visual fidelity. I just think that with this new technology, though, like, this game is gonna look absolutely amazing. In the interview, they said that it's in a playable state right now, and they're having fun with it. And a guy who doesn't have fun is actually having fun playing this game. So that can only make you even more excited and look forward to seeing what comes next from this game specifically. I don't know. I'm just extremely hyped for it. I think this is definitely going to be the next, literally Exodus, the next space adventure game that I sink so much time into, just because if I make this specific choice and someone else makes a different choice, the fact that we can all have different outcomes based on the choices that we make in the game itself, that still blows me away. Like, I can't wait to see all the different people's choices and how it affects their story, how it affects their families in the game themselves. Like, who do you leave behind? Who do you take with you? Are you outrunning your enemies through time, or are you abandoning your family through time? Like, these choices are crazy. Like, I can only imagine what it's going to look like once we actually get our hands on these and see. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. I'll definitely keep you updated with more Exodus content. Other than that, you all have a good day, and I'll see you in the stars.
You